Okay, good day everyone. I'm going to be redoing my wireless router setup video as I was planning on doing it, but accidentally deleted it this morning anyway, so um back in the darker days in the well, let's just say 2000-ish and up to about maybe 2004 or 5 before WPA or WPA2 rather came out. I have to check those dates. I'm not exactly sure when it was. But back in those days, we we were stuck with the WEP, which was kind of better than nothing, but not really. It can be, and I've shown people doing penetration testing. It can take as little as 5 minutes to crack their passwords with the right software. So, while it was better than nothing, it still wasn't great. So, back then, one of the tactics we used to use was hiding your SSID, your router's broadcast name, and turning on MAC address filtering, which will only let the network cards that each network card has a little, I guess for lack of a better word, like telephone number or serial number printed on it, called a MAC address. And you had to manually type in the MAC address for every computer you wanted allowed on your network. It worked okay. You could spoof it, but that took a little bit of work, and for the average person that was just trying to get free Wi-Fi, it's too much work. So, in that back in the older days, that would also slow down the routers a wee little bit as well, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. So then this wonderful thing called WPA came around, which was better. Again, okay, it was a lot better. Still wasn't perfect, but it was a far cry better than WEP. Then shortly after that, WPA2 came along, and this beautiful little cipher called AES 256. With that, as long as you created a decent password, you no longer have to rely on things like MAC address filtering or hiding your SSID, which it's not really necessary to do anymore. It all comes down to being smart about making your password. You don't use your children's names or anything that's easily guessable. I've set a fair few of them up. I try to keep it about 16 digits of make it alphanumeric, but I usually use phrases or words, but I'll break it up with, you have to salt them a little bit with special characters. Because for every, I'm trying to remember how this works at 9:30 in the morning, for every character you add on, it increases the difficulty by 96 characters. So if you're adding 16 characters, each one of those is an extra 96. Oh Christ, this is the problem of doing it first thing in the morning. It exponentially gets harder, put it that way. Make it easier for me to explain it. So, you can take things like 3 or 4 different words, split them up, use hyphens, commas, dashes, and then enter at the end, 4-digit code. That should salt things reasonably well enough that you shouldn't have any problems. For the most part, people are pretty lazy, and if they see it's WPA2, they for the most part won't bother with it. If they see WEP, oh hell yeah, they're on that. Like, why not? It's going to take 10 minutes to crack it, so why not? The thing you got to remember too is if you're using a router and for whatever reason your router still is using WEP, the biggest culprit I've seen for this, not so much anymore, but once in a while, is Bell. Actually, yes, a gentleman downstairs from me still has a new router that has WEP on it, and I've tried to convince him to let me strengthen it for him, and he says, no, don't worry about it, it's fine. So I was telling him, okay, keep track of what your usage is, because if someone cracks your password, they essentially have full access to your internet connection, and you are responsible for any and all traffic that come across that. So if you get someone that's doing anything questionable, pornography or whatever, the last thing you want is the RCMP or, oh God, CSIS showing up at your door saying, our records show from your service provider that you access this, 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 and this. And you can say, well, it wasn't me, and law enforcement will say, came from your IP address, it has to be you. There's, how many computers do you have? And you're going to say, well, just these two. You can check them out, and they're going to say, well, you can always wipe your computer and reinstall it. It's not going to matter. So, the last thing you want to be on the hook for is, any kind of malicious, like someone using your network to distribute a botnet or anything like that, or child pornography, especially not that, because the love of God, man, whether you did it or not, they're going to throw the book at you right away until you can prove beyond a shadow of doubt that it wasn't you. You're sort of screwed. So I always tell people, even if it takes a couple extra minutes, I don't mind doing it personally, because it does not take that much time. Set your router up properly once, and you will not have to do it again. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Wow, I ran long. All right, that's it. Talk to everyone later. Bye.